Rain streaked across the airport window, blurring the view of the planes parked like giant toys. Inside a black car on the private tarmac, James Harper sat with his arms crossed, his face tired. As CEO of Sky High Airlines, James was used to things going his way. Flights changed, schedules fixed, orders followed fast. But tonight, a storm outside matched the one in his heart. His private jet was broken, and the storm meant no backup. His assistant's voice shook on the phone. "There's one option, sir. Flight 412 to Portland. It's ours, but only economy seats left. Middle seats." James sighed. Him in economy? He hadn't sat there in years. "Any first-class seats?" he asked. "None, sir," she said. Staying in a city with no meetings was worse than a cramped seat. "Book it," he said, rubbing his head. An hour later, James walked down a bright jet bridge, a baseball cap pulled low and a plain jacket on. He didn't want anyone to notice him. Tonight, he wasn't the CEO. He was passenger 22B, just another traveler. For once, that felt okay. The plane was crowded and tense. Babies cried, people argued quietly, and flight attendants gave tired smiles. James's seat was squeezed between a kid tapping on a phone and an older man coughing. His knees bumped the seat in front, and he couldn't get comfortable. The tray table had a sticky soda stain, so he left it alone. The lights dimmed as the plane took off. James reached for the armrests, but both were taken. No one said sorry or smiled. Everyone was just trying to get through. As the plane climbed, a baby wailed a few rows back. A flight attendant rushed by, only saying, "Seat belts on." No kindness, no pause. James closed his eyes and breathed. He wasn't in control now. No fancy jet, no quiet seat with a drink. He was one of the passengers, and it hit him. He didn't know what his choices as CEO did to these people. Across the aisle, a mom struggled to mix milk for her baby, while her toddler kicked the seat. No one helped until an older woman gave her a toy and some wipes. The mom's eyes teared up, grateful. Behind James, two men whispered. "They used to care," one said. "Now it's all fees and fake smiles." The other added, "When they lost my bag years ago, they said sorry and gave me a voucher. Last month, just a website link and nothing else." James didn't turn, but their words stung. These were real stories, not numbers in a report. They were truths he'd missed, flying high above at 30,000 feet. The plane shook with turbulence, making everyone sit up. Drinks carts stopped. James looked at the flight attendants. They looked calm, but their eyes showed they were tired, moving like robots. Near the kitchen area, he heard two crew members whisper. "This is my 10th day with no break," one said. "They cut extra crew again," the other replied. "We're barely managing, but they want us to smile." James squirmed. He had approved those cuts. He handed a tissue to the coughing man next to him. The man looked surprised, then said, "Thank you," softly. It was the first time anyone noticed James all night. Not as a CEO, just as a person who cared. Then, behind a curtain, he heard two off-duty attendants talking quietly, thinking no one could hear. "I don't know how much longer I can do this," a woman said. "Same," a man answered. "They don't see us. We're just numbers, extra shifts, and fake thank you notes from the bosses." James froze. These weren't just complaints, they were people feeling lost. The woman kept talking. "Remember when the CEO visited us? When we had real breaks and didn't have to do miracles on no sleep?" The man sighed. "I love the job, but it makes me feel so small now." Those words stuck with James like glue. "It makes me feel so small." He stared out the window at the dark sky. He'd built Sky High Airlines to make travel easy, to connect people. But somewhere, he'd turned comfort into something to sell, not something to give. When the plane landed in Portland, James hadn't slept. As people left, he stayed seated. No one knew him, and that was the biggest lesson. He'd become invisible in the company he ran. As he walked off, a flight attendant said, "Thank you," with a tired smile. "Thank you for tonight," James said kindly. She paused, confused but touched. "You're welcome, sir," she said, her voice softer. At the airport, near a snack machine, James called his assistant. "Get the whole team on a call tomorrow morning," he said. "What's it about?" she asked. He looked at the plane through the window. "It's about the people we forgot to see." The next day, the boardroom was quiet. James stood tall. "I flew economy last night," he said. "Middle seat, no special treatment. Just me and passengers we've let down." He told them everything. The crying baby, the tired crew, the coughing man, the mom with wipes, the whispers of hurt. "We started this airline to serve people, but we traded kindness for rules. That stops now." They started Project Heart, a big plan to fix things. More crew on flights, better schedules, real breaks, and ways for workers to share ideas. They even planned comfier seats, undoing some cheap changes. Months later, there were no big announcements, but passengers noticed. A blanket given without asking, a gate agent carrying a stroller, a flight attendant smiling like they meant it. Once a month, James sat in a random seat, maybe 15A, maybe 29C, cap low, just listening. No one knew him. That was the point. It wasn't for show, it was for real. On one flight, he saw a scared flyer shake during turbulence. A young attendant knelt, talking softly, holding her hand. On another, a crew member helped an older woman with her seatbelt, then checked later to see if she was cozy. These weren't just rules, they were people being kind again. After every flight, James thanked the crew by name. Someone always said, "It feels better now." He'd smile and say, "That's because we're flying the right way." James learned the truth wasn't in fancy reports or big ads. It was in a mom's tired sigh, a crew member's shaky voice, or a sticky middle seat where people still helped each other. You don't lead from a fancy office. You lead from the aisle, from a stained tray table, from seat 22B. Sky-high airlines became known for care, not just flights. Passengers smiled more, crew laughed again, and James kept flying economy, making sure the heart of his airline never faded. The storm was over and the skies were clear because James listened and he made it right.